Hello, Dim. Thank you so much for A, knowing how to use Instagram Live, and B, joining us. It's awesome. Thank you. I was about to say to my gorgeous community that I'm so honored to have you. I love the work that you do. Leading retreats and helping men essentially get out of their own head. But I mean, I'll let you talk about yourself in a minute, but what I really wanted to talk to just was how, when I saw you in action at one of the conferences that we crewed together for Luke, and you're this beautiful, gentle man. And then when you had to step into your masculine, and it was mind blowing. And that's why I called you in, because I wanted people to know what it actually means for a woman to feel safe in that masculine energy, because you just rocked it. You're incredible. So thank you for joining me. But that's why I invited you, because I just love your masculine energy. It's fabulous.
I just love how beautiful a soul you are, Sylvia, and how authentic you are. So when you gave me the invite, I just said yes straight away. So
Thank you. Thank you. Really, really, really means a lot. If you can just quickly tell us what you actually do, because I know you only work with men, and because I only work with women, essentially, I love this. I love the fact that, I'm not able to help their men step into their masculine, but you can. So I want to know what you do.
Thanks, Sylvia, and thanks to everyone who's watching along as well. So, quick introduction to myself. For the last 6 years, I've been running a men's coaching business. So I help men, typically age range around 25 to 45, though I definitely get older sometimes. Helping I call them the boys, because that's basically around my age. I help the boys find confidence, find true direction and purpose in their life, and also get out of their own ways. So whatever the kind of inner limiting beliefs or emotional blocks or mental blocks that they might have, whether they find themselves irrationally feeling angry or sad or withdrawing, whether they some people tend to be avoidant, some people tend to be anxious. We know that there's all these different styles and different patterns, and a lot of these patterns don't really serve us, especially when it comes to either our relationships or how we conduct ourselves in work. And what I do at the core is I help men find a sense of purpose and vision for their life, and I help them heal whatever it is that's going on inside, so that they can kind of get out of their own way, and then I can train them in whether it's effective communication, effective like holding themselves with self-assurance and confidence. And I do this through retreats, one-on-one coaching programs, and yeah, this is my full-time business for the last 6 years. So hopefully that gives a little bit of a context of what I do.
It does. Thank you so much. In what you just said, my biggest question is, how can a woman support her man in that container of when he's in his head, when he's in this pattern, like you were saying, all these avoidance patterns? How can a woman get her man, help him, inspire him to get out of that funk? That was one of my questions. One of the questions that one of my clients gave me this morning.
Yeah, Sylvia, it's a great question. Actually, I was so the thing is, it's good for for a woman or for whoever the partner is to understand that whether it's a man or a woman, we have all these different sides to us. And I think this is a really, if you can understand this, like for the people who are watching, this is a very powerful framework. Recognize that the key to evolution is variation, which basically means that, for example, if you think about it like a pendulum, on one side of the pendulum is someone who has that classic alpha, real aggressive type of personality. And then you would maybe say the other side of that pendulum is someone who has more of a real passive, softer, gentle, introverted type of personality. Now, what's going to work best for the introverted type of person is going to be different from the person who's the more extroverted type of person. So actually, the best way to support someone is to first understand kind of where are they on this kind of pendulum or little spectrum. So you have so two useful frameworks to just think about. One of them is the Myers-Briggs personality. That's a nice and easy one. So, you have people who are ENFJ, which are they're more extroverted, more intuitive. They feel things more, and they're more judgmental and decisive. Then you have ISTP, which is the polar opposite of that. This is like, I know it might sound complex when I'm explaining it this way, but if you just Google Myers-Briggs, like, it's quite easy. As soon as you see, there's only like 8 different things to look at. So if you know that they're more introverted and more kind of in their head and thinking and perceiving, and they struggle to be decisive, at least it helps you get a read on them. I mentioned there was a second framework. The other framework, which is a bit simpler, is the warrior, the lover, the magician, the king. So just so you quickly know what they are, the warrior is the part of a man who is kind of that the more classic one that when you think of a real manly man, you think of someone who sees a target and just goes and destroys it. That's the kind of warrior archetype. The lover archetype is the soft presence, real joyful, gentle, nurturing side. The magician is the side which is really creative and smart and clever and can find the angles. And then the king is the kind of centered mountain in the eye of the storm. So why I'm sharing this with the people watching is because when we can understand and look at who we're dealing with from kind of an ability to break down where are they on these kind of little spectrums, it helps us go, well, okay, what best do they need to actually support them? So, for example, if the guy's really in his head, but he's more of the kind of alpha type, and you can tell he kind of does the more king warrior thing more, then it is going to be things like yoga, meditation, walking in nature, going to the ocean, things which which are that more classic softer well-being type activity that is going to help him. There is something that underlies all of this, but just to finish the example, if they're on the other side of the spectrum where they are a bit more in the lover and the magician, then it is going to be more of that jolt energy, which is actually going to be more conducive to them. But I would say underneath it all, the number one thing is that everyone wants to feel accepted and not judged for who they are and understood for who they are. So which is more on that softer side, but you want to make sure that the person you're dealing with feels from you that you don't judge them, that you accept them, that you're not resisting them. Because if it's just human dynamics. When we feel like we're being resisted, then we're going to have animosity and aversion to changing. So I would say that the core there is to make them feel loved, to feel accepted, to not feel resisted, to also think about so from a man's perspective, often, like, while this is quite a generalization, most men feel like they are, a big role of theirs is to be a provider. So in a man's psychology, most of the time, they're really thinking about how they can provide for the family. And it's a healthy thing to do, in the spirit of accepting them and not resisting them, to really have a think about, well, what do they do to provide? Maybe in their mind, them going to the gym and getting big, that's their way of providing safety. Maybe them going to work, maybe they don't feel appreciated for it, but that's their way of providing financial safety, or whatever it is that they're doing. We want to recognize in what form are they actually trying to be of service and of use. And when we can recognize that for ourselves, we can make them feel recognized and appreciated for it. And when you kind of create that bed of, hey, not judging you, I actually really appreciate the way that you are, then then you can actually, as Stephen Covey says, seek first to understand, which is, hey, well, listen, I think that what's really kind of hurting me here is that it seems like when we have issues, you get really caught up in your head and or you seem to shut down. I'd love to just understand what's going on there, because it's hard for me to deal with this situation when when it seems like you're shut down. And it's not accusatory, it's more of a frame of looking to understand. So these kind of foundations do help uh, uh, kind of start the conversation that I think you're getting at, Sylvia.
Yeah, so it's the well, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's those I statements, it's appreciating, it's supporting, it's not criticizing, no contempt, no resentment, beautiful I statements. But what triggered a lot of my community recently was there was a post around a woman can only give herself, a woman can only inspire when she feels safe in a relationship. And we don't mean we're not talking about any domestic violence here at all. We're talking about safety in the container of a relationship where she feels she's allowed to express fully. So is there anything that you've noticed in your work with men that would help a woman feel safe, or anything the men can do to help a woman feel safe, or allow a woman to express her need to feel safe? Because it's very, very topical for us women at the moment.
How good, Sylvia. So obviously this is the majority of actually, like, the 99% of what
real people. Yeah.
This is the 99% of what I do is actually helping the boys ask, like, well, what can men do to actually help their woman feel safe so they can open up? So I'm actually very passionate about this. So
good.
Yeah, so there's, because I believe that a core role of being a man is to contribute to a family dynamic or a relationship dynamic, and doing that is trying to be the best use possible for your partner, and for her a big prerogative there is to feel safe. So for the men listening, you want to dissect the different ways in which we can help her feel safe. This is something that I'll share with you, something that my mentor taught me, actually, that a lot of men, I think, don't understand. So realize, for the men listening, realize that we as men live in a world different from women, in that women live in a world where half the world can, like, beat, steal from them, rape them. They live in a world where kind of half the world can give them physical harm. When we as men walk to the car, we usually don't think about anything. Like, we just think about whatever the next thing is. We don't have to really think about someone trying to steal the car from us, or someone trying to, like, hurt us or rape us or take advantage of us through our physical strength. Like, we don't really think about that stuff. But the ladies actually do have to think about that stuff. When we go to the sauna, we don't think, oh, someone could rape me in here, right? Or someone could be weird to me in here. We really don't think about that stuff. But the ladies do. And they experience, weird guys cracking on them and all that stuff. So that's why for the ladies, safety is actually, like, a huge thing for them. So what I would say for the men is, like, that there's all these different ways we can give someone safety, and we want to try and give them safety in all of those ways. So one of them is physical safety. Another one is emotional safety. Another one is financial safety. Another one is just the safety in terms of you being smart and like intellectual safety, so you can solve problems. So you want to think about, for not just the lady in your life, but also for your family, when you can create a safe environment which is correlated with a stable environment, an environment of certainty. On that platform of certainty, that's where people can be creative and really flourish, and a lot more of the feminine things can really flourish, because you're giving it that stable platform. So that's a way that you can kind of dissect how you can give people safety. So if you want to go through the list, for example, physical safety, most guys can think of ways they can provide physical safety, whether that's learning, fight training, going to the gym, just having, like, a really great presence. The good thing about, I love physical stuff because it naturally nurtures masculine energy within you, having to overcome physical obstacles, like the physical limitations within yourself. Emotional safety is all about really seeking to understand. If you could just remember one thing from me today, seek to understand. Because one of the great things that Tony Robbins talks about is have a discipline of pure intent. So what he means by that is you want to think about this person and realize that you married her, or you got with her for a reason. You got with her because you really like her and you think she's a good person. So often at times what you find is that when you have a conflict, it's often a misunderstanding where she's really not feeling recognized for some things that she is doing, and you're kind of accusing her of something, but you're not realizing how maybe you kind of have also caused harm to her. So I would really recommend, don't jump on the self-righteous horse of you're right and she's wrong. Instead, have the discipline of pure intent, which is realize she's a good person. You're with her because you know she's a good person. So she's a good person. She doesn't mean you harm. So what's causing a good person to act this way? And seek actually to understand, because the more you seek to understand, the less that person feels judged or resisted, and the more that person feels like you're working with them. So and then they can, then the more you understand, the more you can appreciate them for what they are doing to contribute. So when you can do that, that's a really great way of creating emotional safety between you two. And then, you know, her feeling your non-resistance also allows her to loosen up and also hear you and appreciate you, which is, you know, for the guys, mostly what they want also. Does that, so
yes, it's like the conflict is sort of caused because of the meaning that you're placing on that situation, as in, you know, she means me harm, she whatever, and then you get into that defensive mode as a man and then exhibit your behavior.
Yes.
That happens.
That's right. That's right. We've taken a negative meaning out of it, but instead of taking in, but sometimes you find maybe, shit, I took the wrong meaning out of it, you know, and you kind of get humbled. And that's why instead of just jumping to go, you know what, she did this, this means that she doesn't care or she's not considerate, actually go, hang on, like, I feel like because she's acting this way, that the meaning I'm taking from it is that she doesn't care and she's not considerate. But is that the accurate meaning? Let me actually, you know, I had a similar incident with a great friend of mine, a female friend of mine, and she's like the best. But I had this moment with her where I felt like she was raising her voice at me, and it was me feel not considered. And so I actually, instead of jumping to being kind of violent or defensive, like emotionally violent or defensive back to her, I said, hey, hang on, can I just clarify, are you raising your voice at me? And it was awesome, because then it gave her the opportunity to go, no, Dim, like you did nothing wrong. I'm not raising my voice at you. I'm just really passionate about this thing. And then I said, well, look, that's cool. Like, I guess it makes me feel not considered because you know, she's overseas. It's 10 p.m. at night here. It makes me feel a bit inconsidered that, you know, it feels like you're yelling, you know, and then it actually, you're having a much more smarter conversation then at that point, where actually you can see she doesn't mean me any harm. Like, she's just passionate about a certain point and she's allowed to be. That's fine.
But it's
right.
It seems that it would take quite an aware man to even ask that question, as opposed to immediately go into a pattern of, fuck, this is all too hard. It's the fact that you had to say, look, this is how I'm, this is how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Means you
What
have
do
a
you think?
awareness.
Well, I feel like we don't have a choice. Like, and I feel like it's very rewarding to cultivate. I mean, just so you know, for the guys watching, like, you know, after high school, I was in the army for 4 years. I was in corporate for 8 years after this. It wasn't like I was born in a temple or something like that. Like you know, been around the block. I just think that I just think that it's very rewarding to cultivate this inner level of awareness, because ultimately, like, when who we are, like it or not, has a big impact on the people around us. So
Well
my
said.
my yeah, my sincere philosophy is we don't know when our last day is going to be. I'm sure everyone's watching this. We've been to enough
Mm.
funerals to know that actually, well, how do you want to be remembered? And we don't know when our last day is going to be. So a genuine philosophy of mine is like we just really do want to be our best to be of service while we're here and be a positive contribution while we're here. So I think that core philosophy drives my motivation to because me being more self-aware means that I can be better for the people I care about. So
Yeah.
that's my philosophy there.
Yeah, it's how you make other people feel, not what you actually say. That's super important. But going back to your military days, because I had quite a lot of my women saying, I need my man who's too effeminate, who's too in his feelings, to get more masculine. So, in your experience, how do you get the men to get more testosterone, to get more alpha? To actually provide and protect in that traditional role instead of go too much into their feelings, into their emotive. Because again, there is a balance in that. You can't have a 2-hour debrief about an event in the container of a relationship, in my opinion, when it could maybe take 5 minutes or 2 minutes. So what can you speak to that?
Great question, Sylvia. So and by the way, for the people watching, like where because Sylvia and I connected, and I was the way that I am now, right? I'm just chilling and being
Very, very
happy to be
zen.
here.
Very zen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm Big Zen, right? and then somewhere in all of this, during this seminar, Sylvia saw me yelling in someone's face, like about this close from their ear.
Well, I think
And
earlier on I invited you because there was this very testosterone interaction. Like, I can't handle that. I said, "Dim, come and help." That was the first one, and you walked in there. It was just extraordinary. You diffused everything beautifully, but in a very, very alpha, very masculine way.
it's very funny. I find all this stuff very funny because they're just all different dynamics, But um, yeah, like for the people watching, at my retreats, I take the boys out to the ocean and we're yelling and we're roaring. Like my company's literally called Roar. There's a lot of, and where did I get yelling in someone's ear
Mm.
this close to their ear? I got it from my sergeant yelling into my ear when I was 18 years
Yeah,
old in the
wow.
army, right?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so I would say this: if you're more on that kind of spiritual spectrum thing, and maybe you're even judging me because of the way that I come across, I can tell you this: true spirituality is integration. It's not one way or the other. True synergy comes from uh, opposites coming together to create something higher. Synergy, spirituality, integration, oneness. Uh, higher frequency means it's not this way or it's that way. It's integrated. It's two sides of one coin, and you see how they fit together. And the more you can see the divine order of how something's fit together, the more you transcend to a higher level where they merge and you see something, for its totality. So, for example, um, I I would akin someone who's more feminine and all of this, or someone who's more masculine and all of this, and they have a bias towards it or an attachment towards it. What I would say is, you know, you know, God or the universe or whomever, they didn't create just day, they also created night. Like they didn't, if you want to get big in the gym, you can't just be one-sided and think you can just lift weights all day. You also have to have rest and nutrition. There's two sides actually. So all of these seemingly opposite things actually complete each other. And and these are all needs that we have. And if you don't meet them in the light, you will for fucking damn sure meet them in the dark. So
Shadow.
so sometimes like the most lovely people, pleasing, nice people, they can be real, nasty.
Mm.
To their parents or something like that, right? They're really nice out here to the public, but then behind closed doors, they can spill out and say something really nasty. And so we can't escape the fact that there's different sides, and actually true spirituality and oneness and integration is about owning all of them and realizing that they all have a part to play in service to the world. So what I would say to guys who are on the more feminine end is number one, realize that it's not true spirituality to just stay here. That's also another polarization. It's just a polar opposite of the New York guy in a bank smoking, lighting a cigar with money and, burning money to smoke a cigar. Like they're just two sides of one coin, actually. True spirituality is to see how actually one leads into the other. So if you really want to if you can recognize this and recognize that if you truly want to be spiritual, you want to have access to both of these sides and not judge anything, but own them all. The specific way I would recommend doing it is every morning do something physical. To be honest, like I typically do something physical both morning and night. So in the morning, first thing in the morning, I'm either going for a run, or I'm doing a really like the steepest incline you can do, but basically something physical. And I'm listening to music that kind of gets me into that good state, where I'm feeling like really motivated and jacked, basically. And in the evening, I do weights. And then during the day, to be honest, my work day feels like a gym workout in terms of the intensity that I put into it. So I have a very healthy aversion, a healthy, I'm losing the word, affinity to I have a healthy affinity to doing very kind of intense gym workouts or doing things even in my workday which feels like an intense gym workout. And what I like about that is that you feel really good in you. You cultivate that masculine energy in you. And then when you kind of disconnect, it allows you in a very clean way to be calm and, as Sylvia said, zen and all of that, and be really present because you feel like you've let all the testosterone out. Even at my retreats, before I get into the actual written stuff and all of that stuff, I actually do take the boys out to the beach and do the yelling, because I find that once you let all the testosterone out, it allows you in a really clean way to be zen and have some really deep insights. So actually they support each other.
So to build the testosterone, though, it's basically lifting heavy things, having a lot more movement in your day as a man instead of that stagnant, would you say?
Look, people are different, but it does seem overall like that we as men, still from evolution, have a really big bias towards physical things as a way to help build masculine energy.
Lifting
so doing
things,
lifting heavy things, moving, pushing against resistance, is what it is.
As
so
long
resistance
as
training.
That resistance isn't your partner, but yeah, I get it.
Well, that's why you want to take the resistance out at the gym, so then you can be of calm mind when you're with your partner.
Well, so in on topic, on point, because this is what my ladies wanted to speak about, was the polarity in relationship. Because obviously there has to be a masculine and a feminine. Obviously, if the man becomes more of the feminine, then the female tends to dominate. So how do you think, or what's your understanding of polarity in relationship, and why and how it could be maintained?
Yes. So what I would say to the men listening is it really when the more safety you can provide, the more polarity you'll find. So if she feels seen,
Dim, I love it. It's about safety. It's always about safety. That's fantastic.
I have to be careful about what I say.
Not here. My community. No.
Yeah. Because look, I'll say a few things, right? Like, see, I know some guys that they have done no inner work. Look, they've done some, but maybe not that much. But they got plenty of money. They splash it around, and they pay for everything. And you find some of the people that people around them act real feminine, and I'm not saying that's the type of relationship you want, but I'm saying that the more but one thing that these guys do, even for me when I'm around them, I feel really safe. You know, these are real big dominant guys. They're splashing the money. Everything's taken care of. Not just the money side, like, but the plans are taken care of. The whole show's taken care of, right? And they're having a great time. You know, by the way, now I don't do drugs, I don't drink, but they're having their version of a great time,
Yeah.
and I can tell you, man, the people around them real feminine, right?
Yeah.
So there's a kind of non-toxic way to do that, and the toxic way to do that is to just recognize the more I can make her, you know, you choose someone that you feel contributes beautifully to your life. So for example, and I think this story will actually really help people. Like, I had this really wonderful girlfriend many years ago, and her the way that she was such a contributor and a nurturer. Like, she worked hard. She wanted to like I don't know if she wanted to cook as such, but she was always the type that when I was around her, I always felt like I was looked after. Like, she was very considerate of me, whether it's, you know, like little massages or wanting to make a tea, or she really created a really nurturing space for me. Like, I think people know enough of, you know, some people really have that nurturing energy. And with her, I didn't actually want her to pay for a thing ever when she was, because I'm like, man, I'm getting so healed around this person. Like, I work so hard, and when I'm around her, man, I actually feel like $1,000,000. Like, you know, I feel like completely like I'm being healed. And so for that reason, I want to provide her with everything. I want her to never have to worry about anything. So if she had any issues, I was actually very attentive, and I really was really present with her, and I helped her quite decisively work through the issues. And I was like, because I think, in my view, I was getting so much value out of being around her that it really brought out the best in me. So
she brought out your instinct in a way to provide, to care, to
yeah,
be
Sylvia, yeah, honestly, that's exactly
beautiful.
what it was. It was even beyond anything I had learnt in a textbook. Like, she, so I take my hat off to her, because the way that she was really instinctually brought out all of these really great behaviors, you know.
That's fantastic.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's basically teaching a woman to bring out the best in the instinct in the man.
Yeah, and I think one of the easiest ways, you know, for anyone to learn these skills is find someone that you can see is nurturing, or has these qualities that you're after, and spend more time around them, whether that's a coaching container or this or that or whatever. Look at how they approach things and how they think about things, and why they do things, because that'll help you cultivate that nurturing instinct within yourself. So that yeah, her being that way definitely brought out the instinct in me to just really be a big provider. But I think your original question was about how a guy can be a better provider. Was that the
Yeah, the
question?
polarity, how important it is to have polarity in relationship.
Yeah. So the polarity would come from safety, and so it's you. If you're a male listening to this, it's you really going, this is my kingdom. This is my vision for it. You know, initially when you guys get together, my suggestion and what I've done in the past is I would have a vision for my family and my dynamic and kind of my life. And I would sit down with her and ask her what hers is, and just authentically see, even if she doesn't know what mine is, authentically see if there's alignment there, and if we have the similar vision. And then you chat together, you create a joint vision, and it's a vision that genuinely motivates and inspires you, and you genuinely want to do that and leave that as a legacy. And then you go and create that vision. You go create that through your hard work, through providing, and you want to see if she's the right fit for you in terms of what she can give that you don't know how to do. So with me, I'm not good at naturally nurturing myself, but there are guys in the world who are good at that. So with me, to go back to the first thing I said about the pendulum, I know myself enough to know what I feel like I'm good at and what I'm not good at. So that's what a good complementary opposite is, and then you can really recognize the value that she brings. And yeah.
Yeah, right, beautiful. Thank you. Now, if anyone has any questions, because we have gone a little bit over time, thank you for joining us so far. Please drop them in the messages below. I've got no questions so far. So in the meantime, Dim, if you just want one last time just to explain how you work with men, if there are any men here that don't know much about you, I refer a lot to you when I'm trying to get well, to heal some of my clients' relationships that need work, and the man needs to do some deep work. So please take it away.
Thank you so much, Sylvia, to the moon and back, for that. Uh, Guys, if you're watching this, and what I'm saying, is resonating with you, all you have to do is just add me on Instagram, or you can get my number from Sylvia, or just send me a message in whichever way you feel compelled. And there was a documentary that was made on one of my retreats, so that's a really nice way for you to see with your own eyes a little bit more about what I do. And yeah, just a message away, and then we can chat on the phone. I don't do pushy sales like whatsoever. I only work with guys who want to be there, and yeah, we have one-on-one, we have group programs, we have in-person programs. Kind of got all of it. So yeah, it's been 6 big years of doing this, so I'd say we're pretty amazing at it. So yeah, thank you.
And ahead of your time, because the need is huge at the moment for this work, and it's getting more and more popular. As the women start flying in that department of in the area of self-discovery and doing the work. We've got to lift the men up with us, because otherwise there is a mismatch. That's what I've noticed in my community anyway. And also anyone that wants, I did a little PDF document, ebook on masculine and feminine polarity. It's super simple, so if anyone wants a copy of that, direct message me as well. Anything to add? Sorry, Dim, I think I cut you off then.
No, I actually was going to say, I feel like I did a lot of talking, but I'm so aware that you would have so much opinions about what I shared as well, and so much insight. I really do know that. So I'm sorry if
No, I'm asking you the question. My clients hear about it from me all the time. I want it different. That's why I invite the men. I want the men to talk about it from their experience. It's so easy for a woman to counsel and coach other women, but it's, we can't change the men. We can't control the men. The only thing we can do with our men is inspire them and allow them to lead. And that's the work, and that's the safety. Because you're not going to allow a man to lead you that you're not feeling safe with. So that's why I think it's really important to have this conversation from both the yin and the yang.
Thank you, sincerely.
Thank you, Dim. Thank you, everyone. Yes, we've got awesome. Loved it. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Everyone needs Dim, and everyone needs Dim in their life. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I'll see you soon, hopefully. Bye. Thanks, Dim. Really appreciate your time.